then there must be an incentive attached to their remuneration. You can't pay teachers who are specialized in dyslexia the same amount of money that you pay teachers who teach bright and normal students. So you can see the complexities of what we have to deal with as a foundation. Meanwhile, we have been joined by a very special person, one that I have known for so many years. She's busy discussing with some friends, but let me welcome in a special way Architect Oliako Okafomba. Oliako is a friend of Joe Ezigbo, as well as a friend, more than a friend to me. Oliako, you're welcome. Distinguished guests, for meaningful and lasting change, awareness and intervention must be complemented by policy reform. We will now hear from Dr. Mrs. Oranika, who will speak on the importance of incorporating dyslexia into Nigeria's education and disability policy frameworks. Dr. Mrs. Oranika has joined us today from the US. Can we please welcome her and give her a sounding round of applause? Thank you. Can we link up with okay.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on all the 16 protocols. My name is Dr. Patience Oranika. I live and practice educational leadership policy and law in the United States of America. It gives me great pleasure and honor to talk to you this evening about a matter that is near and dear to my heart. Thank you, Professor Ezigbo, for having me. My charge this evening is to share the Joe Ezigbo Foundation Strategic Roadmap, mainstreaming dyslexia into Nigeria's education policy. Dyslexia, as the previous speakers have said, is a common learning difference affecting reading, spelling, and writing. Research is clear that 1 in every 5 learners experiences dyslexia. In Nigeria, this means millions of bright minds who are otherwise capable are struggling to decode text in front of them. But the tragedy is not just the struggle, it is the misunderstanding. In many of our classrooms, these children are not given tools. Instead, they are given labels. They are called lazy, distracted, and unintelligent. You are familiar with such derogatory terms as Olodo, Odede, Isiake. Depending on your language, there is a name ascribed to these individuals who, just with the right treatment, will be able to function successfully in our systems. But because we don't know, because we do not, even starting from our teachers, do not know how to address the needs of these students, we label them. Parents beat up their children instead of supporting them. We must go back to the tenets of teaching, because teaching is that which leads to learning. If I have not learned, you have not taught. And we must own it and therefore address it. So for the students who have been mislabeled, it creates a cycle of academic failure. Eventually, that leads to high dropout rates. At the end of the day, it weakens our national human capital. What happened? First, let's look at the legislative gap. In 2018, Nigeria made progress with the passing of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Act. That in of itself is laudable. However, that act fell short at addressing dyslexia by name and by statute specifically. That omission has been very costly because dyslexia is not formally recognized. It remains unaddressed in our schools. The effort of the Ezigbo Foundation, which we are here to talk about and to launch, would involve us all collaborating with the National Assembly, Education, the Universal Basic Education Commission, the State's Universal Basic Education Board, universities, colleges of education, and parent advocacy groups. We are proposing a legislation which will formally recognize dyslexia as a specific learning disability and establish the national support structures that will help our children and which our children deserve. The Ezigbo Foundation is poised to correct this anomaly. We are proposing a new federal framework named the Individuals with Dyslexia Awareness and Learning Act. From this point forward, I would address the Act as the ideal Act. The Ideal Act stands on 5 pillars, and these 5 pillars are critical in its success. 1. Mandatory early screening. We cannot treat what we don't track. We cannot treat what we don't diagnose. Therefore, the Act stipulates that every student in public primary schools, especially students in grades 1, 2, and 3, be screened at the start of each scholastic year. Intervals within the we believe that early detection is the most effective way to change a child's educational trajectory. Please note that what we're saying here is not something that has not happened elsewhere. In advanced countries, and I want to say that we are advanced in Nigeria, believe it or not, this is the norm. It's not deep, and our children in Nigeria deserve that which is across the board accepted practice. 2. Educator preparation. We must empower our teachers. The Ideal Act recommends that the university and college of education curricula hours in structured literacy and dyslexia awareness. Our teachers must graduate with the requisite knowledge base to support every child in their classroom and every reader, dare I say. 3. Evidence-based intervention. For students at risk, schools must provide structured literacy instruction and protected daily reading blocks. Small group instruction. So, parents must be carried along. Schools must communicate with parents regarding remediation plans that provide apportioning blame. And to the parents I say, your child needs your punitive measures to make them do well in school. Remember the reason why we teach. We teach to learn. If I'm not learning, you're not teaching me. We must own it. That's how it is done elsewhere. 4. Research specialists. The Ideal Act calls for the creation of dyslexia resource specialists
These are with specialized reading training who will support both teachers and students. To reflect the importance of this role, these specialists must be highly skilled and trained and duly compensated for their expertise. In the United States, these specialists go through more than 700 credit hours of postgraduate training in order to be licensed to work with dyslexics. So it's a highly skilled area of work. Data-driven decision making. We must lead with data. The IDEAL Act calls for federal and state governments to partner with university framework could truly be a game changer for millions of students who have the intellect but lack the specific tools needed to succeed. For the child sitting in the back of the classroom today, struggling silently to make sense of the letters on a page, recognizing dyslexia is the first step toward unlocking their full potential. For Nigeria, ensuring every child can read is not just a policy goal, it is one of the most important investments our nation can make. We must all join the Joe Ezigbo Foundation in advocating for the IDEAL Act. So, I ask you, would you come with us? Would you rise to this occasion? Would you partner with us? That which we do for the least of us, we have done for ourselves. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening.